when you turn to God's word, you see weakness is the perfect place for you and I to experience God's power.
You're listening to Your Moment of Hope. Here's your host, Billy Peterson.
Could it be that the weaknesses in your life are tremendously valuable to you? I've found that as hard as it is to admit, they're extremely valuable to me, though I wish often that they wouldn't exist. Let's jump into today's episode of the Your Moment of Hope podcast. Weakness. I think it's fair to say no one wants it. No one wants to embrace it. I know I don't. It's the last thing championed and celebrated in society and culture today. And yet when you turn to God's word, you see weakness is the perfect place for you and I to experience God's power. The presence of weakness in your life is not evidence of God holding out on you, but it's exactly what you need to be reminded of his kindness, because he's committed to be with you in and through your weakness. In other words, your weakness can be tremendously valuable because it can instill in you a deep sense of humility. But it's easier said than done. Today, sometimes in my weaknesses, I let fear creep into my heart as I realize I don't have control over a certain area of my life. But I want to remind you and myself that when you become intimately aware of your limits and inability, you are in the perfect place to become fully aware of God's limitless and infinite ability. Next time on the show, it's so important for you and I to have those friendships with other people that are chasing after God in their life, and yet it can be so risky, right? It requires you to really expose weaknesses. Otherwise, it's not true friendship. You and I are just pretending. Let's explore that more next time on the Your Moment of Hope podcast. For now, continue to walk forward in faith, my friend.
Thanks for being here for this episode of the Your Moment of Hope podcast. If you want to go deeper in your walk with God, make sure to check out past episodes at theq997.com, the Q997 app, Apple Podcasts, or on Spotify. Once again, thank you for your presence here today. We'll see you next time.